Kugan, CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the final press conference here for Loma-Campbell versus Campbell. That's better. Right there.
Yeah?
That's the Eddie Hearn we know and
Thank
love.
you, mate. Well, after you mugged off my outfit last night,
yeah,
I thought we'd revert back to the Tom Sweeney today. Just want to say congratulations to you.
For what?
For your Sky Sports interview.
Okay.
Mate, do you know what? It's like...
What?
People
what
say
are
to
you
me...
doing? What you slag other people off for doing?
People say to me, do you know what I like about your Kugan CASSIUS interviews? You know, they're so informal, they're so uncorporate. Because on Sky, you're a lot more sort of clean cut. Mate, that couldn't apply more to you.
Why?
What about you? And here Kugan, oh, hello Fraser. Oh yes, Fraser. Oh yes, you know, this is a big show. There, I just must say, Spencer Oliver is standing on a box. Mate, it was so funny.
Why are you... What?
Because it's just not you. Like, that's
It
not
is
you.
me.
No, it's not.
What am I meant to do there? Go.
Oh, Fraser, son.
Oh, son.
Oh, Spenny!
It was quite a moment.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think you should be on there more often, to be honest with you.
I don't even know who could make that happen.
Don't know. I know someone at Sky. Like
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, your people speak to my people.
Okay. Speak to your agent, yeah.
Well, you know.
I mean, after that performance yesterday, you should have no trouble getting on in the future.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
All right, make a call to my people.
Okay.
All right. MTK, that is. Edward, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm better than good.
You know what? This is a bit of an August bonus,
August special.
wasn't it?
We are only a day away from September when this show launches. At this moment of the week, absolutely zero problems with the show, which is a bit worrying because we are at Thursday. I'm touching wood, by the way.
Go on.
Sold out 3 weeks ago. Everybody going mental for tickets. Phone don't stop. So when you got a show with a great undercard, where everyone's really excited about, it's an absolute honour. It's a privilege to be promoting this show. Not just Lomachenko against Campbell, but particularly Fury-Povetkin. Edwards Martinez, you do not want to miss. That is a brilliant fight. Also, even when you look at the Facebook Live fight, James Tennyson against Atif Shafiq. Did you even know about that?
I saw James Tennyson here,
yeah.
and I was like, is James
He's
on the bill?
fighting Atif Shafiq.
Yeah,
that's at
a
5
great
PM.
When did you have that?
Last week. It's been in the works for a while, but to be honest with you, totally honest, I was trying to palm it off because we had too many fights on the card. And Mark Dunlop's a good friend of mine who manages James Tennyson, and Dave Coldwell's got Atif Shafiq, and I was trying to move it back to the end of September or even early October, and they both made me feel so bad about it. You know, Dunlop's texting me every day going, James has been in camp, he's been making weight. Dave Coldwell said the same. I thought, do you know what? All you ever do, Hearn, is give fight fans value for money. So give them another little treat. 5 PM. 5 PM. Facebook Live. If you've got tickets, get in the arena. We start at 4. But
4?
Yeah. Make sure you're in the arena for Tennyson against Shafiq, please. That's a great fight. Caldina against Gwynn is a great fight, and you know that's the first time in over 25 years that 2 Welshmen have competed for the British title.
You're making history all over the gaff.
Mate, we're making history all over the gaff.
Let's talk about Fury-Povetkin.
Yes.
It's like...
Since I made that fight, there honestly hasn't been a day that I haven't thought about that fight. Because I signed Hughie Fury, and the plan was to have a good, solid fight, you know, a bit of an exposure fight, and get him off to the right start with us, and then look for a big fight. We had a situation where we had an option on Povetkin. They come to us, and I think they said when we signed Hughie Fury, I would fight Hughie Fury. And I said, well, do you want to fight him at the O2? And he went, yeah. So then I phoned up Peter Fury and MTK and said, do you want to fight Povetkin? And they went, yeah. And then we sorted the money, and the fight was made, and it was made so quickly, but it's such a ballsy move by Hughie Fury, but it's a calculated move. They believe they can win, and if they win, they beat a top 5 heavyweight, and they put themselves just like right up there in the mix. Povetkin looks really fresh, you know, and I don't think Huey can afford just to try and frustrate him all night. He's got to, at times, get his respect, stand and fight with him, and that's dangerous. But Peter Fury, like I said, he's a little bit of a maverick, you know, in terms of strategy, and I think he can get into his fighters' minds, keep him disciplined, and try and win this fight. And I can't wait to see that fight.
Because usually, you know, when you make a signing, like a name like Huey Fury, it's like, right, I'll tell you what we do. Here's a little welcome to Matchroom fight.
But that welcome to Matchroom fight is not just, that's normally a request of a fighter. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So when you do a deal with a fighter, say, good news, I'll give you a little run out in as your first one, then we'll get serious. That's like standard procedure.
Yeah.
So this is a situation where when I signed him, I never in a million years thought he'd go straight into the Alexander Povetkin fight at the O2. But he's looked at it, he's gone, do you know what, 18,000 sellout, Sky Sports box office, all over the world, massive show. I'm going to go and shake up the division, and I'm going to beat Alexander Povetkin.
Lomachenko-Campbell, tell me how Luke Campbell can win this fight.
He's got to knock him out. He's got to hit him hard. He's got to hurt him. He's got to have a little bit of luck on the way. He needs a little, like a Ben Stokes-like performance, right? Where you produce an absolute moment of brilliance to win this fight. You need a little bit of luck on the way, right? Look at Ben Stokes. He was out LBW, really, with a couple of runs to go, but they run out of appeals. He was dropped on the way. You need Lomachenko to be maybe a little bit under par. Maybe that shoulder operation that he had, maybe that's not fully healed. Maybe the hand that he broke against Crolla plays up again. Anything that's going to help the cause, because you can't just be average or box well and beat Lomachenko. You've got to be absolutely out of your skin. And
yeah, but even with that, do you believe what you just said there, that
yes,
Lomachenko has to underperform for Campbell to beat him, even if Luke Campbell is at most out of his skin best?
Arguably. But I think that if Luke Campbell produces a moment of brilliance in this fight, he can win the fight. But he has to produce that. He can't box well. He can't box average. Ain't going to be enough. He's got to get his respect. He's got to hit him hard. But, you know, Campbell's not in awe of Lomachenko. He spent a large part of his life around him at tournaments, meddling together. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like he's not looking at Lomachenko and going, oh, that's Lomachenko over there. Oh, he knows, like, they've been around a lot of their life together. They've achieved golds in the same tournament, golds in the Olympics. He knows how good he is. But what I've seen from Luke is, maybe it hasn't hit him yet. He's so calm. So calm. I don't know if that's good or bad, but he's not fazed by this fight. He knows he's fighting the best in the world, but he's excited by that.
Any other notable fights on the...
Charlie Edwards against Martinez is a brilliant fight. I mean, Martinez knocked out Selby to become the mandatory. That is going to be a brutal fight because Charlie, again, same thing. Charlie's going to have to stand his ground. He's going to have to try and hurt Martinez at time. Martinez is relentless. Eddie Reynoso, they're here, part of the team. I mean, we've got some faces in town this week.
Really? Here we go.
We've got Andre Ward.
Who's
Seems
looking
sweet
for
about the Cobra. I know, brilliant. He'll be here today. Ward.
Ward?
Yeah.
Interesting. Froch?
Yeah. Froch will be there.
Today?
Ward and Froch will be in the O2 together on Saturday night.
What moment there could be. Edward, I didn't really ask you about this the other day, but there's Povetkin.
Looks in great shape, doesn't he? Every time I shake those Russians' hands, it crushes my bones. Yeah, go on.
I didn't talk to you about this yesterday, but...
How are you? Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Say hey, mate. How are you? Good to see you, mate. Yeah, we've got ready. Hey, mate. All right. Go on.
Joshua. You know Joshua?
AJ.
This little spat with Lennox Lewis. What are your thoughts about it? Because you've kind of had a few words about Lewis in the past.
Yeah, I think that I don't really like the comments that Lewis has made over the years about AJ. I'm not over the years, probably the last couple of years. AJ, people saying, how can you call Lewis a clown? Like, look at what he's achieved. It's got nothing to do with what he's achieved. He's an unbelievable fighter. He's one of the best heavyweights of all time. AJ just thinks he's a clown. Nothing to do with his fighting. He respects his achievements, but what's wrong with that? You know, at one stage people say, oh, AJ never says anything, he never opens his mouth. All of a sudden he comes out and says, yeah, Lennox Lewis, you're a clown. He hasn't said anything. The amount of times Lennox has been commenting, digging on social media all the time, right? Because, you know, we know there's a past and Lennox tried to sign him and, you know, stuff like that, but I've never really seen, all throughout those Wilder negotiations particularly, obviously Lennox works for PBC and Fox, so like little digs, and AJ just had enough, come out and he went, no, I think Lennox Lewis is a clown. I like it.
He could have said worse, to be fair. He said that they're cut from different cloths. Expand on that?
I didn't say it.
No, but you know, you enter the mind of AJ.
I think that what AJ's saying is, I like to inspire and motivate the next generation. I think that's what he said in the interview. So,
a prime Joshua versus a prime Lewis.
Lewis and his resume, AJ's capable of beating anyone, but Lennox Lewis's resume is extremely impressive, and he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. So I think you can only judge that at the end of their careers. Right now, you have to say Lennox is a big favourite in that fight, but AJ could beat him. But we'll see when the day is done and the resumes compare.
That's fair enough.
Or we could make that fight now.
Really?
Don't put that in your title.
What? Let's make Joshua Lewis. Okay, here's your man, Fury. Right. So, Ryan Ford, who takes on Joshua Buatsi. Mm-hmm. So, I will allude you to this so you can make some comments. You know you wrote this.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Were you being critical of...
No, because I wanted Jose Burton to fight Yard. That fight was mandated, right, I believe? I think it was. Yeah, it was. And they chose Ryan Ford over Jose Burton. When what he said was, we don't want to go fight Jose Burton because we want to go down the world route, so we're fighting Ryan Ford. And I said, that's diabolical. You've been mandated to fight for a British title, and you're choosing to. If you're going to go down the world route, at least fight someone. If you're going to use that excuse, at least fight someone in the top 10 of the world. Ryan Ford's not in the top 10 of the world. It's not close to the top 10 of the world. He's a good, durable test, and that's about it. But this is my whole comments about Yard. He never had the right fights to take him to a world title shot. Frank got him in a position where he was number one in the world, somehow. Unfortunately, without fighting anybody. So, he got to a stage where eventually he was mandatory and he weren't ready to fight for the world title. I'm not saying that Josh Buatsi should fight Ryan Ford and then fight Sergey Kovalev, not at all.
Okay, fair enough. I saw in another interview, I think it was with Fight Hype, you were talking about Billy Joe Saunders. Has he signed part of a contract to fight?
His contract caters for certain fights and the money for those fights, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yes, what I said was, effectively, Billy Joe Saunders has signed for the Callum Smith fight. So if I agreed terms with Callum Smith, fight Billy Joe Saunders, it would just mean me saying to Billy Joe Saunders, you're fighting Callum Smith. And then we're done. Do you understand? So, yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So, sold out. How many buys is going to do on pay-per-view?
I don't know. I mean, judging by how quickly the tickets sold, judging by the digital interaction, the social media interaction, I would hope for a 300,000 buys.
Okay.
Something like that. But Lomachenko is still a little bit hardcore. But I think all the hardcore fans will be buying this fight. And obviously, the more people that buy the fight, the more money Lomachenko makes and Luke Campbell makes. So good luck to him.
I think we should involve Fury.
Go on, then.
Fury.
And Savannah. Savannah, come
get her in.
All right, mate. How are you?
Good.
All right, Savannah.
What's happening, mate?
You
You alright?
Good.
They wanted to involve you two as well.
Let's start with you.
He's getting bored of me.
No, I won't. It's good to involve interaction and all that, Edward. Yeah, high hopes for Savannah Marshall?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember going up to the GB squad, watching AJ for years and years. Savannah was there every day. Watched her in the pros. Obviously beating Clarissa Shields, which is great because she's one of the biggest stars out there right now. And I know Clarissa, she's a competitor. She'll want to fight Savannah Marshall. Again, it's not a fight for now. She's going to box on Saturday, get through that. Then she's going to be in a much bigger fight in Newcastle on October the 19th, and then again fight before the end of the year. And then in 2020, she's got to be fighting for world titles.
Sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So 3 fights before the end of the year?
Yep.
Oh, okay, you'll be busy then. Hello, Huey. Come and stand this side to Edward.
He's tall. You don't realise how big Huey Fury is, do you know what I mean?
No. So, he's got a plan for you as well. Knock Povetkin out and the world's your oyster.
That's definitely a plan and it's going to happen, for sure.
I said, like, we didn't expect this fight at this stage, but it came up and they just took it with both hands. And when he beats Povetkin at the weekend, he's just completely bulldozed the heavyweight division. All those big fights. And that's when you fight with that much risk, that's what you have to have that reward. It's a bit like Luke Campbell. If Luke Campbell beats Loma-Campbell, he's cracked it. He's like a pound for pound star. And if Huey Fury, if and when he beats Povetkin, all of a sudden, Povetkin's a top 5, top 6 heavyweight in the world. So when Huey beats him, all of a sudden he is. So then you start putting him in the fights with Ruiz, AJ, Parker, Usyk. Beating Povetkin will put him in the top 5 of every governing body. Might even push him towards mandatory position. Massive fight for his career.
How close was Huey to fighting AJ?
You know, it's so funny because as you get to know someone, I always thought, growing up, coming through, Huey was like, him and Peter talked a good game. They talked about fighting him, I was thinking, Peter don't want to put him in. It's his son. He don't want to put him in. He's only a baby. So once I went round Peter's house for a cup of tea.
Don't know me that.
I do now. Now I know he's fucking serious. I know he's serious because at 22 he fought Joseph Parker. At 23 he went to Bulgaria to fight Pulev, and now he's fighting Povetkin. So trust me, they're serious. But at the time, I went round Peter's house. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I came in, I had a nice cup of tea. Your mum gave us some biscuits as well. I remember it was really nice cutlery and nice, lovely china. And he came in, and we were talking about AJ fight at the time. And I was thinking, they don't want to fight AJ. And I went round there and Peter just said to me, look, we're going to have one fight and then we'll fight AJ. And I said, look, can't we do it now? And he said, no, look, we've got this fight already planned. We don't want to let anyone down. Do that one and then we'll do it. So I never really believed that they were that serious about fighting AJ. It's only now when I look at his resume and who he's fighting and who he's prepared to fight that 100% he would have boxed AJ. And I believe that fight will happen as well in the future. They're 2 British world-class heavyweights. So of course that's a fight that can happen in the future. But I think that people don't often realise how young he is and his resume already. And if you look at the Pulev fight, without that cut, who knows what could have happened in that fight. The Parker fight could have really gone either way. I think it was only experience that cost him that fight. And now he's fighting Povetkin. So British fans need to get behind him because fans always moan, oh, he ain't fighting him and he's scared to fight him. He's a guy who's fighting everyone that's put in front of him. At 24, he's a baby. He shouldn't really be fighting these guys. But he's up for it and he's taking the chance. He's rolling the dice, and if he wins, the rewards are massive. That's the thing.
So he might have not taken you, not seriously, but in terms of who you wanted to fight, but I suppose the proof's in the pudding, what you've done over the last sort of 2 or 3 years.
I've had my learning fights now, I've had all the experience, it's all behind me now, so I'm just ready for this. It's all about timing. And I believe now this is the time. Like I say, I had a bit of bad luck in the Pulev fight. I had cuts and illness all in the past now, and everything's gone well for this, and I'm just looking forward to it.
So he just said what he thought before he come and had that cup of tea. What did you think before you'd actually met him? Because
I was a right prick.
Yeah,
Did you?
Cockroach, that's what I've been good. I remember came there, Joe was there as well. I think you both came in, and I was sort of sitting on the sofa. I'm like, all right, lads, and they're like, yeah, all right, as if to say, they go, what's that prick doing on the sofa?
I'm assuming your opinion has slightly changed, Fury.
Listen, like you say, boxing's it's a business, isn't it? Like you say, you always have ups and downs, but the end of the day, we all want the same thing, is to go forward.
One thing we know is on Saturday night he walks out in front of 18,000 people at the O2 Arena to box Alexander Povetkin live on Sky Sports pay-per-view. So it's happened very quickly, and I did expect this to take 6 months to be in these kind of fights, but all of a sudden he's fit, the timing was perfect, coming off a winning Saudi, you know, obviously boxed well out there, but more importantly he was fit, was ready, no injuries. You've got to take these chances. And you know, listen, Povetkin's team aren't stupid. They realise they might not have made the best decision in the world taking this fight. He hasn't boxed for nearly a year, Povetkin. Yeah. He is 40. How much did the AJ defeat take out of him? How fresh is he? We know he's dangerous. Looked good last night, looks fresh. Ain't going to be easy. But I can't wait. Like I said to you, there's not been a day that's gone past since we made this fight that I haven't thought about this fight. Because it's so fascinating. You know, people start saying, at first they made this fight, so people saying, oh, is Fury mad? What? And then as it's going closer, people going, I think he might do this, you know? You know? So...
Listen, at the end of the day, it's a fight. And believe me, I'm leaving everything in the ring. And it's going to be out of the show.
It is.
Go back to Savannah, she only said 2 words. She's been standing here the whole time.
Hold on.
I know.
Come back in.
Let's talk about Clarissa Shields.
You ask her about Clarissa Shields, because I feel like I'm...
So you got blushing.
Yeah, no. So... Clarissa Shields, when you beat her in the amateurs, what was the event?
It was the World Championships 2012.
Right. Did you win gold? Yeah. Right. Okay. And was that the final?
No, it was a prelim, I think.
So she didn't even get into the main thing of the World Champs? Okay. Do you rate her?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you believe you beat her?
Yeah.
Do you like her?
Yeah, she's a nice girl. I've got nothing against her.
I actually like Clarissa Shields. Well, you spent time around her. She's a character.
Yeah,
and actually, she will fight anyone as well. She ain't afraid to fight anyone. And I think what she's done for women's boxing is fantastic, but, you know, I just believe she beats her. I think it'd be such a big
2020
event.
inevitably will happen.
Yeah, you can't hang around too long, but you've got to take the right fights at the right time.
Yeah.
So Savannah's been a little bit inactive. Saturday's all about getting in the ring time, gaining a bit of experience, getting that big show feel. And then Newcastle. Have you boxed in North East before?
No, it's my first time.
Right, yeah. Are you from Gateshead? No. Hartlepool, yeah, not too far.
Not Gateshead.
Yeah. It's Gateshead, not nice.
Yeah, it's all nice, but it's Hartlepool.
Yeah. So that's the first time boxing in the North East. That's going to be a sellout show as well. So I'd like to get some kind of world title eliminator for that show. Do you know, I tried to nab the WBO world title for that show, but Deschwan's boxing for it. Do you know that girl, Simon Golden Boy? She boxed Clarissa Shields on her debut. Remember that girl?
Function Cruz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's not
She's got
bad.
the WBC.
Or maybe it's another one. Deschwan or something like that. Yeah, she's fighting for the WBO. So.
I actually feel like I want to involve the whole
Peter's
Fury
coming
Empire. Definitely.
All right, mate. You all right?
Good man, yeah.
So we've just worked out that Huey thought Eddie was a cockroach before.
I've just remembered, he did call me that once, you know what I mean? The good news about me is you can call me anything you want. But I'm that focused on just doing the right thing and making good business. It's a bit like, you know who I admire like that? Bob Arum. Bob Arum can slag you off to your face. He's done it to me before, in press conferences. He's humiliated me in press conferences, right? And then finish the press conference, come on, he's gone, right, should we go and have a sit down and talk about that fight? I'm like thinking, you just took a lip at the same thing. So, like, I don't even think about what people have said, because as long as you're comfortable.
We don't say things without a reason, yeah? And David Higgins, yeah, was being told that you was trying to poach the Parker fight from underneath our nose.
Probably true. Probably true. Yeah. That is probably true.
Right.
Yeah. But you weren't on the team, were you? So you've got to do what you've got to do, you know what I mean?
I want Mick involved in this as well. Mick's having a chat with someone.
Well, not David Higgins. David Higgins is a classic. I've got to say about David Higgins, because he always says to me, can you just make sure that when you do the interviews, can you tell people that I'm actually a good operator? But he is absolutely nuts, but actually he's like one of those, like, you know, Rain Man?
No, I like
that guy, Rain Man, where it's like
a
genius.
He is.
He's actually a very, very, very smart guy. But I could never get over when he came into that press conference with you. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You know, when he just walked in drunk to that presser and started going,
Yeah.
you know,
And
about
you lost
that.
it a little bit.
Oh, right,
a little bit.
Yeah.
No, but people thought I was arguing with him. It wasn't. It was with
Both of them.
both at the
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Because I said,
yeah.
"Oh, you brought your bodyguard with you, have you?" So I'm not going to argue with him at 8 stone. But, you know, it's one of them.
But he was,
All good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All good.
He's a character.
things
You need
happen.
characters.
But we've just been talking about first fight for Matchroom. What a dangerous fight this is. But you've been to Bulgaria. You obviously fought Parker 3 years ago when he was 22.
Yeah.
So it's in keeping with all those fights. To be fair, this Povetkin fight, Peter.
Yeah, of course, he's a dangerous operator, Povetkin. He's no mug. You can see him here, he's in shape as well, like I knew he would be. We don't take chances. I can see everything, but like I said, I'm not in the ring doing it, he is. So basically, he's got to step up, and if he wants it bad enough, he'll get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 100%.
What I can tell you, though, we'll see something different in him in this fight, because we have to see something different for him to win it. So we've been working on things, endless rounds of sparring, 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. He can do 20 rounds. So there's no excuses here. No excuses. So he's coming for the win. He never come to lose anyway. So let's see how it goes.
I think your press conference is going to start shortly, correct?
Yeah, 5 minutes, something like that.
All right. Well, all right, Joe.
I'm in training now. It's coming very soon.
I reckon Joe should have a go as well.
Why not?
We'll have a little
Me?
bit of
Me and
yeah,
him.
me and
Do
him.
you know how many pay-per-view buys that would do? And
Yeah.
he'd smash me to bits
I
as
know.
well. He's a Fury. He ain't going to lose to me, is he? You know what I mean?
Why don't these two fight you and your brother?
I haven't got a brother. Well, you. What about you?
No, drop me out.
Let's
this one.
we'll just go to the bar afterwards
Exactly.
and do the
Yeah, we'll
damage.
There we go. We'll
We'll
celebrate.
Yeah.
Right, Savannah. Have you got anything else you'd like to add, Savannah?
No, just watch out for me tomorrow on Saturday night. Give me a chance to show people what I'm made of and what I can do.
Okay. Joe, I know we've just drafted you in late notice here, but have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Look out for this one, up and coming. And this one's going to make a statement. Saturday night, positive. They'll go do the job.
All right. Huey, Edward, thank you very much,
Thank you,
and
Kugan.
we'll speak soon.
Cheers.